Okay, I have started the recording. Welcome back, everyone. Would anyone like to recount the previous session last week on Orphans in Crisis?
We all met up at one small place, which then we got shunted. Oh no, we were on a ship that landed. Was it a ship? Oh my god, my brain's already not doing well.
Pretty sure the caravan, like carts, right?
There were carts, yeah. No ships.
Ground ships.
Which then got to a bar, or an old broken down bar. Which
barn.
Then we...
was it a barn or a bar?
Bar. It was an empty bar.
First there was a barn, and then there was a kitchen. And there's 18 children that have been shepherded in the dead of night to relocated to a new orphanage. You didn't get much chance to sleep as it was already nearly morning anyway. And with the sun now out and shining, it's a little hard to stay asleep. And so all 18 of you awaken and learn a few things. So it seems like all of the rooms do have windows. All of the shutters are closed, but you can see the morning light shining through the cracks. Opening the shutters reveals that it is indeed daytime outside. There's a bit of a mess in the yard, but that's easier to see for those of you that are on the third floor, because the first floor is larger than the second and third floors. So there's a bit of a roof that overhangs. This does mean that those of you on the second floor could theoretically climb out a window onto the roof. The third floor would have trouble with that, but the third floor gets a better view. And the third floor can see that there's like scraps of cloth on the yard near where the road comes. The building itself is at sort of an L bend in the road, where it comes from the east and then makes a turn south. And here at that 90-degree turn is where the orphanage has been established. From here you can see across the road to where a small, something somewhere between a creek and a river, flows through a building that's been built over it like a bridge, which appears to be some kind of well for getting water. And then it flows through an actual bridge that the road goes over. Another building is in the back where there's kind of a little cliff drop. It looks like there's some outhouses back there, a small orchard. And then you can't quite see it because there's a little bit of like tree and hill and cliff in the way, but you can hear the crashing waves of the ocean somewhere to the west. Miss Maybell, the mistress of this location, this facility, is busy downstairs getting things ready, but the room that was locked the previous night unlocks, and out of it come 3 kobold cubs. I'm sorry, not kobold, gnoll. 3 gnoll cubs. 2 of them look to be probably like 4 or 5 years old. One of them is only about 2 years old. So that locked room appears to be their room. They introduce themselves as, let's find them, Raska, Mangra, and the littlest one doesn't introduce itself, but his brother and sister tell you that his name is Bibbin. And they all proceed downstairs where breakfast is being served. Miss Maybell has brought in some apples from the orchard, which she cuts into slices and puts on plates along with bread. There is not really an organized table system here. This place does not look like it was built to purpose, but rather scavenged from donations. So you've got tables of all different sizes and chairs and couches of all different sizes, just kind of scattered around the bottom floor. Once everyone has been fed, Ms. Maybell makes reference to all the little animal shapes you had seen the previous day, and says, to make things easy for finding your room, you should all choose an animal for the room that you're going to be staying in. You all have to share rooms, of course, so make sure you're sharing with someone you like. But we're all friends here, so let's pick out your animal to hang at the door, and we'll write your name on it. Each animal has underneath it a little chalkboard space where a name can be written. And so we're just going to go through and have everybody figure out which room you're in, and we're going to put your animal on the door.
Grumpy Wompy and Francis will enter a room together.
All right.
Absolutely.
I have created in our directory a map that actually shows the layout of the rooms. And in the activity log spreadsheet, we have a abstraction of the room layout where we can write everyone's names.
Excellent. What's the the chalk space? Is that intended for the names of the people in the room, or?
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
So
And the
everybody's-
rooms can fit 4 people?
They can. You guys are kids, and the furniture can be rearranged. But yeah, 4 people can easily fit in the rooms without any trouble. One of the rooms is already taken, and that is on the second floor, what we're calling the bottom left corner, which is called the wolf/seal room because the kids can't agree on an animal. That's the room that the Knoll children are in. So, who is claiming a room for? I know that the triplets want to claim a room together. Which room are they claiming?
Oh,
I feel like Wompy would probably have the strongest opinion about this.
Whoppy would want the like coolest room. It's kind of what Whoppy would want. I have a feeling that all 3 triplets would completely disagree on which room to take.
Sorry, which room would you want?
Whatever the coolest room is, so probably something on the top floor. Top floor is kind of central. If I'm still a little struggling to figure out how this layout works, because I'm not very used to geometry.
So the stairs are in the middle, and I have them sort of gradiented to show
Okay.
up and down. There are safety railings around them, so you don't accidentally fall downstairs. But what you've got is you've got the 6 rooms to a floor, and then there's 2 closets. So 4 of the rooms are corner rooms, meaning they're going to have windows that can see in 2 different directions. And the oh yeah, thank you. And the 2 sort of central ones, they don't see in 2 different directions, but they do have kind of a better view of the stairs.
Francis wants to go in this one.
That one.
But I don't know if the twins will agree, but that's... Francis is going
Specifically
in this room
because
and checking
Francis
it
has
out.
picked that room, Whoppy will pick the one on the 3rd floor, but the same one. Just like, ha, it's better.
Actually, that's exactly the one that that I actually originally intended to
Then
pick.
Whoppy will pick the one on the 2nd floor because, ha, it's better.
3rd floor has a better view. 2nd floor, you can get out onto the roof.
What's the twins' way of settling, or the triplets' way of settling arguments?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah. That's probably what they'll do. Whatever the equivalent of rock, paper, scissors is a Talus.
Which I think is going to be a dice roll. I don't know. I feel like that's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, opposing leadership rolls, that would be the way to do it.
Mm.
Or opposing persuasion rolls if you want to actually convince them that it's better.
I will roll my 0 leadership dice.
I will also roll my 0 leadership dice.
Add your empathy to that.
Huh.
See, nothing actually rolls 0 dice. There's always something added to it.
Oh, right. All right.
I already forget how to roll dice. Okay, dot F. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Wait, is
Trophy's gonna
is the
have to
other
break
one
the
gonna?
Trophy's gonna have to break the tie.
Okay.
What's it gonna be, Trumpy?
Give me 1 second.
Or maybe just Trompy wins by default.
Hang on. I guess I only have an empathy of 1, so
Trophy chooses.
2nd floor.
Second floor? That room? Okay. I don't even remember. Wampy has already forgot which one Wampy was arguing for. Wampy was arguing for the sake of argument. So whether or not that was the correct floor, Wampy's like, yay, I win!
Francis sulks into the correct room, but is not very happy about it.
And which animal are you guys going to hang on the door to identify your room with as different from the others?
Francis is like inconsolable and kind of just sitting in a corner, so they're just like sitting it out, you know. They're just like, whatever. Deferring to the twins,
What's the
basically, or
fiercest
the other two.
animal offer here?
So, pretty much any animal is here, and because this is Talus, this includes stuff that like doesn't even exist on Earth. You've got griffins and
Right.
dragons and stuff, but there's also, you know, hippopotamus and elephants and.
Well, if there's dragons available, Wampy wants the dragons. Wampy's like, dragon, dragon, dragon. It's already gone and grabbed it.
All right.
That's totally fine.
The dragon room has been decided.
I don't know if we need to put a fourth in that room for like math purposes, because I don't know.
For math purposes, you do not. So there are a total of 11 rooms, and there's 18 kids. So you
right.
actually, like, not everybody even needs to double up necessarily.
Well, the triplets are handled.
But by handling the triplets, this might mean that some kids get their own room if they want it. Ed, I think you had a character that picked a room out pretty quickly last night. Do they want to continue to reclaim that room?
So my characters are so Reggie's mostly just ignoring this entire exercise, but Mari's mostly not paying attention to the exercise. But she'll follow whoever she's currently having a conversation with. She'll follow them into their room.
Oh, that's right. She was following somebody. Who was she following?
I think she was following Nest because Nest would tell her stories.
Right. Which room did Nest pick?
Whichever one is closest to the adults.
Okay. And I think at the time, Ness assumed the locked door was an adult, right?
Right. Right.
So Ness is probably on the bottom center one on the second floor. So that's Ness and Mari. What animal are they choosing to mark their room with?
That's Shari. Shari.
Oh, Shari, sorry.
And nest. Like a bird nest. Oh.
The characters that are either trying to ignore or not paying attention to the exercise may notice that there are 2 Crimson Guard soldiers outside on the lawn picking up scraps of cloth.
If was it Shari? Was it?
Shari. Yeah.
Shari. If Shari is still following Nest and going to room with Nest, Nest will let Shari pick.
Shari says. Shari stops mid sentence and says, "Pick. What am I picking?"
What's
We
your
have to-
favorite animal?
She says, "Well, there's so many animals. I like all kinds of animals, but mostly I like fish and dolphins. I like animals that live in the ocean. You know, so any kind of animal that's in the ocean. I love the ocean. Have you ever been to the ocean?"
There are several to pick from, including both fish and dolphins. So, absolutely.
She picks a dolphin.
All right, the dolphin room is decided.
Do they have to be actual animals, or can they just be creatures?
What did you have in mind?
Oh, I already put one on the orphanage layout.
Oh, I'm using the spreadsheet version to record stuff because it's a little easier for typing. Let me see. What did you
Okay.
put? Oh, beholder. Yeah, beholders. Absolutely. That's an animal. And you wanted that to be on the 3rd floor, top right room.
Yeah, unless anyone wants to join me in the beholder room.
Is that 2 of your characters up there?
No,
just
only one, right?
Khalil. Okay.
Yeah.
Mari shakes her head and says, No, I'm not going in the beholder room. My uncle saw a beholder once, came back with far too many eyes, and he was missing his arm.
That's the thing about fantasy worlds. Those mythical creatures, they're not mythical. They're actual biological creatures that are out there that might shoot lasers. All right, Troy, do you have a character that would like to pick a room?
Let's see. Chriislisar wants just the most light. How is the?
Do you want the most light in the morning or the evening?
At all times? I guess you're gonna get light during the day regardless, but at evening you want there to be light, because that's when there's no light. Like, you're still gonna get light during the day whether you want it or not. So I assume there's rooms facing.
Yeah, so the rooms that face the west also face the sea, and that's where the sunsets will be. I did orient this with north is up, so.
Mari says, I like light. I'll go to the light room too. I like the light. Rooms with windows make me happy. Didn't have a lot of windows back where I'm from, you know? Windows are nice. I like windows.
There are 3 rooms that are west facings that are not yet taken.
So you mentioned above the first floor there's an awning, essentially a roof. Is there a roof at the top as well, or is it just completely open?
Well, I mean, the 3rd floor has a roof over it. Yeah. There is no like skylights in this building, but the 3rd floor is higher up, so it can see over the awning to see more of the yard. The awning's not really an awning; it's just that the 1st floor is bigger than the 2nd and 3rd floors.
Got it. That makes sense. We'll just do to the third floor, so that more can be seen. We'll just do, I guess, the top left, or maybe directly left, because that's the most west you can be, really.
Directly left is actually a closet. But,
Oh, is that how we're doing it? Okay,
yeah.
so top left.
We'll go into the closets in a bit. So yeah, I mean, if you want to be technical about it, you're in the northern hemisphere, so southwest would give you slightly more sun. Just
Okay, that's
just hair.
yeah, that was where my brain went wrong. I was like, we're really far south of everything, but like, no, we're the southernmost of the north.
Yeah. It's,
So yeah, the southwest, then that makes the most sense.
all right. What animal are you choosing?
Oh man, I don't know.
Mark says, "Do you like foxes? I love foxes.
I mean, foxes sound great.
She says, I love foxes. I used to play with foxes all the time. She goes over to the table and picks up something that looks like a cricket. She says, I like it when they clean their wings.
Am I renaming this the cricket room?
I think the fox and cricket room.
The
Why not?
cricket box.
It's the chirping fox room.
And which characters are going in this room?
Chriislisar.
Mari's going in there. Yeah.
Mari and who?
Chriislisar.
I need to look up the spelling on that, don't I?
I'll put it in.
Ah, okay. Thank you. All right, so everybody's got at least one character on the board. Let's go back to the top here. Jackie, do you have another character?
Leica will pick a room in the first floor somewhere. Let me see. What's the? Let me see here.
All right, she's looking for the map so she can figure out where to go.
Are there not rooms on this first floor?
There are not, no. The
Okay.
first floor is a kitchen, a living space, a small library, and Miss Maybell's private quarters, which are the
Okay,
least private of all the quarters, actually. They're the most
Gotcha.
open so that she is maximally aware of everything going on at all times.
What's this? What's the room on the second floor that's closest to the stairs?
Second floor, closest to the stairs, that would be, oh yeah, that one that Kristen just highlighted. So bottom
Pick
right,
that one
second
then.
floor, which is not claimed by anyone yet. And what's the name of your character that's taking it?
Leica's going to be in there. One of their, I believe this one. No, never mind. Actually, I take it back. Bax is going in there. I believe Bax is the character I have that one of their parents died from cinder, so they're trying to be ready to leave the building in case it catches on fire or anything like that.
Smart move.
You gonna call it the Phoenix room?
What animal will Bax choose to mark the room with?
Griffin.
Griffin?
Yeah. Why I put that? Or do I just
There's a spreadsheet where it's getting entered, but I'm putting
Okay,
it in.
cool.
I'm putting it on the map as well, just for the visual.
Thank you.
The map I did to scale, the spreadsheet I did for ease of typing. All right. Ed, do you have a second character to put on?
The only other character that's not roomed right now for me is Reggie, who, as I said, is currently watching the Crimson Guard outside and not paying attention to this entire exercise.
Okay. Reggie notices that the Crimson Guard are picking up a boot which was upside down on the lawn. It is just one boot. There is no matching pair. They're stuffing it into a bag, and yeah. All right, Troy, do you have another character that would like to claim a room?
See, most likely Mina will be looking around the entire place and examining everything. So maybe like in and out of all of the rooms and just not paying attention to this.
Okay.
For Kofrik. Not really sure. I feel like he's gonna want to. There's not really like a center. Like he wants
No,
to be.
the stairs are the most central thing. There are rooms that are more central than others, kind of, but only by a little bit. I'd say the most central room that's not yet taken would be the one across the stairs from Dolphin on the second floor. It's on the middle of the two floors, and it's in between Dragon and an unnamed room.
Kovrik's gonna just initially beckon out and ask if who all enjoys tales as well as shares tales. That's who I'd like to room with. I'm gonna leave that open for anybody to answer. Otherwise,
Leica will go with you then, because their hero is Harving, who's a bard.
and you don't have a room yet. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's all my characters handled.
So it would be anywhere you want to stay particularly?
No. I'm cool letting I assume your character's younger than mine, so I'm cool with letting them decide.
Well, that room that I mentioned is also the closest one. It's like the first one you encounter on your way up that is not yet claimed.
Which one?
Second floor, top middle.
Oh yeah, we'll do that. That'll put us in the center of the action.
Alrighty. What animal do the two of you want to have for your room?
What's a glorious animal?
Lion is the first thing that comes to mind.
That or a wolf goblin. Depending on which stories we've heard. Lion works. Lions sound majestic.
And which characters are these?
Kofrik. Kofrik. And then that was Leica.
Lyca?
Lyka.
Which means, Jackie, you're done.
Yep.
Alright, Vivian, do you have another character who would like to claim a room?
So very much like Reggie, Araxi also does not care about any of this nonsense and is also watching the Crimson Guard, but is specifically staying as far away from Reggie as possible while doing so.
Okay.
I assume Araxi sees the same thing.
Reggie thinks that you're in on it, because like you spoke with him about things before. So he's like he looks over at you and he goes like, it's like Crimson Guard cleaning up the trash. It's like suits them, He kind of chuckles.
Araxi again does not speak back to you, but just like cocks her head slightly. It's like really clearly puzzled and now no longer understands Reginald. Or actually thought she had it read on Reginald at first and now does not. But yeah, I'm imagining Araxi is just going to take whatever room is left.
Okay. I mean, at this rate, with the number of people doubling up, there may actually be some rooms that can be solo rooms. So, yeah. Right, Kristen, did you have another character that would like to claim a room?
Yes. So Zara went into the Griffin room with Max. So I accounted for that. Maybe I didn't add it to the spreadsheet yet. Yeah. So we need to put that in the spreadsheet.
There we go.
And then Henri, he is a bit of a loner, and so they're basically like sitting back and waiting while everyone picks rooms because they're hoping to get a room by themselves. They have their eye on the 3rd floor, top left.
Okay. I think, I might be wrong, but I think there are 5 characters that don't have rooms yet and 5 rooms that don't have occupants. So I think everybody's going to get their own room that's left.
Cool.
I think so. So let me get the total. So Jackie, all your characters are roomed at the moment. Ed, you have 1 character that's not roomed yet?
Correct.
Troy, you have 1 character that's not roomed yet?
Right.
Vivian, you have 1 character that's not roomed yet?
Correct.
Kristen, you have 1 character that's not roomed yet?
Correct.
And Tice, you have 1 character that's not roomed yet? Or do you have 2?
I have 2.
You have 2. Okay, so there is going to be 1 more double. Tice, was one of your characters want to claim a room?
Sure. Clef wants to claim the last room on the 2nd floor, since he can climb on the roofs and stuff.
All right. What animal is he going to name it?
The most chaotic animal of all, the Tarrasque room.
Now, the Tarrasque might actually be a fictional animal here. I'm going to need a ruling from Ed. Is it at all possible that anyone's heard of a Tarrasque in the north?
No. But I mean, like, there's probably like a demon there or something that's relatively similar or something. I don't know. If you want something terrifying, I guess you can just pick something up.
But what's the most chaotic animal they could think of from this world?
Badger.
Badgers are rough. Yeah. Dragons. I mean, trolls.
That will be in the Badger room then.
Badgers are great.
Reggie catches on to what's happening, and he kind of quickly goes over the table and looks through the animals and picks up an eagle or a hawk or whatever it is. He says, "My family crest is an eagle." And he says, "I'll take a room." It's like anyone else who believes that a monarchy is a terrible way of ruling over people, like, is welcome to join my clan. And then he kind of goes and picks a room.
That's what Araxi over, so Araxi's going to room with you. In the most disaster roommate possible.
All right, and that makes for the last pairing that's necessary. Which room are you 2 taking?
It doesn't matter.
Araximosi's just following you at this point. So whichever one Reggie walks into.
I'll just take the top third floor one. It's fine.
Alrighty. And so the last two.
How do you spell your name? Yeah. Araxi. A-R?
Araxie.
Cool.
This is going to be such a disaster.
It's just going to be a disaster.
Phase Fighter, that's a good one.
Yeah, Elros
And
will
I
take the room
think,
then.
Troy, do you have the last one that needs a room?
Yeah, I think so.
What kind of children learn about face spiders?
Now, of course, it's a phase spider in their mind. In reality, it's a spider because the artistic talent on a display here for creating these animal shapes is not, not a high grade, but a spider-like shape that you can refer to as a phase spider without any problem. Just like the black cat. I mean, it's a cat. Maybe you can find some paint. It doesn't really matter. Yeah. Now for the wolf/seal room, the kids there have basically they took a wolf one and they cut broke the seal off of a different one and glued it on next to the wolf. That's how they got their double one. I don't know if the fox cricket room wants to do the same thing or if you just want to refer to the cricket as a fox.
Mari will refer to all crickets as foxes and refer to all foxes as a funny-looking dog. She also laments occasionally that they don't have any crickets above ground. I'm sorry, don't have any foxes above ground.
We could do like...
Mina needs to pick an animal for her room, and then I think we're set with that phase.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something. What's in the Troll Mountains? Let's go with that. Let's just do troll.
Trolls.
Trolls animals?
Humans are animals, so,
Yeah, I guess it depends on really the context we're going for.
Trolls are technically not animals, but that's close enough.
The level of anatomical knowledge and somewhat magical knowledge you need to identify the difference between a troll and an animal is probably above everyone's pay grade in this entire village.
Combined.
All right. As everyone comes back down from their room selections, Miss Maybell is pouring out some milk from a container in the cold storage, which makes sure everybody gets a half glass of milk, which is all that they have left. She says we're going to pick up some more tomorrow. So today, kids, I have to do a lot of cleanup. So we're just going to have sort of a free day, no chores, just go out and play. If everyone can come outside with me, I'm going to show you where the bathrooms are and where you can get fresh water. Outside the building, there are a couple of outbuildings. There's an outhouse, which is down near the cliff that leads to the beach. Also, the river that runs past the place, like I said, it stops at a building. There's actually another building it stops at further downstream as well. So the upstream one is the one that you get water from. The downstream one is a small bathhouse that has 3 little baths for bathing. All right. Like the details on the cricker. That's good. There's also some nice trees for climbing growing in the yard. And generally, you're not really in a forest really here because there's so much farming going on, but it used to be a forest, so there still are a few bigger trees about, just kind of scattered in the distance. To the east, the road heads between some fields and into the town proper. To the south, the road continues. Not sure what's down there yet, as no one's been there. But yeah, Miss Maybell's only instruction at this point is, she says, because I have to take care of some things, I've got to do a lot of cleanup today. Feel free to just play, but don't go east up the road. Or if you do, at least don't go past the forest. Stop at the forest, don't go into the forest. It's okay to go look at the cows and the barley that's growing up there, but stay within sight of the house. It says, remember, you can always tell you're looking at the house because our house's roof is green. None of the other houses around here are, so always look for the green roofed house. Also, please don't go to the ocean yet. I have not yet made sure everything's safe down there, so I want you guys to stay away from that. She then goes over to talk to the soldiers.
Go ahead, sorry.
She then goes over to talk to the soldiers. Those of you who've been tracking the soldiers, you overhear her offer for them to stay the night, saying, you guys fought hard last night. Please just take a rest before you leave. The soldiers look really nervous around her, almost like they're afraid of her. But eventually they do agree to go inside and rest a bit before proceeding back to wherever they're going. And that's it. You've been given instructions. So, which 6 of you are going to disobey and either go to the forest or to the ocean?
You know, man. At least one person here is not going to be able to resist the siren call of the ocean.
So here's how this is going to work. Everybody's going to pick one of their 6 to misbehave today. The other 2 are going to play. Those that play are going to recover 2 tacks from just playing and relaxing and not having a stressful day. Those who go on an adventure, however, will earn experience points. Which is why I'm now flipping to the first page of the activity log to mark out what everybody's doing today. Ed, which of your characters will be misbehaving today?
It depends. So Shari's not really a leader, but if anyone mentions the ocean, she's gonna go.
The cubs, so the cubs are actually having sort of a disagreement about which place is cooler, the forest or the ocean. So there is definitely mention of the ocean. Raska thinks that the forest is cooler because there's wolves there, and he thinks wolves are awesome because they have teeth just like his. Mangra, on the other hand, thinks the ocean is cooler because there's seals down by the ocean, and seals are really nice. She says you can play with seals, and they don't bite.
Shari says, I love seals. I haven't seen a seal in a really long time. Then Mari says, my uncle saw a seal once, lost 3 fingers. I think sometimes they bite. Sometimes they bite. You gotta watch the seals. I don't know if I want to go to the ocean.
All right, we'll wait on yours then. Jackie, which of your characters would like to misbehave?
Probably going to be Bax. I'm torn between Bax and Leica. Leica's definitely more a leadery character, but Bax is the more likely to get into trouble on the first night, so let's do Bax.
Okay. Kristen.
Sorry, just to interrupt. I have feared the triplets are just going to play for the first day. That feels much more their speed.
Yeah.
There's some really neat trees to climb. There's like a little orchard. Yeah. There's cows you can go look at.
As much as I want to bring all 3 triplets out, I feel like they're just plain.
So Zara's really liking Bax's vibe, so she's definitely going to be heading out for mischief.
Puppy love.
Alrighty, Tice.
Cute.
Tice, which of your characters will be engaging in mischief?
Elros, the elf, will be.
Troy, which of your characters will be engaging in mischief? If the type of mischief matters, you can wait till it's decided whether the troublemakers are going to go to the forest or the ocean.
All mischief is taking place during the day, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that doesn't.
Miss Maybell is going to be distracted cleaning up after whatever it is that happened in the yard last night. And so she will be unable to prevent or, in theory, notice that anyone has gone off to explore an area that they were told not to go to.
Of course. Yeah, I think Chriislisar will go out.
And Vivian, which of your characters will engage in mischief?
Araxi probably wants to ditch this place already. But I feel like if it's like known that kids are sneaking out, Nest is going to go with them to make sure they stay out of trouble. I think that's more likely. So I think if this is like a known kids are sneaking out for the day, Nest is going to go.
Alrighty. Back to Ed. Have you decided which character? Or are you still waiting to find out if it's ocean or forest?
Mario will go to the forest, Shari will go to the ocean. Otherwise, yeah. Reggie's going to stay behind and play, but he's mostly looking for stuff to do. He's actually looking for chores. He's expecting to be given chores.
Reggie and Miss Maybell are going to get along great. Okay, so then I guess it's up to the party. Is the party going to the forest or to the ocean? You guys can discuss.
Elros votes for the forest.
Is Elros taking charge then?
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Zara's following Bax wherever Bax is going.
You'll Bax.
Is Bax going to back you up?
How much forest is the forest? Like, how much tree cover? Is it like dense, or is it?
You don't know because you rode past it in the middle of the night.
Or I just mean looking at it. Like, does it?
So looking up the road, you can see that there is some forest. It does not appear to be supremely dense. It looks like it's more of a divider between two fields that happens to be made of trees. You're betting from one side of the forest, you can see through the trees to the fields on the other side. It's pretty long, though. It does run the length of the fields.
Yeah, the things that the farmers might accidentally misplace might be in there or something, so we might find some goodies.
The ocean, on the other hand, you haven't seen, but you can hear it from where you are. waves crashing on rocks somewhere to the west.
Ness is going to like. I think both of these are bad ideas, and we should stay here. But if you are going to go out, it's easier to. It'd be better if we went to the ocean and an open area. Because I don't think the adults would mind too much there.
Isn't the ocean specifically what we were told not to go towards because it's not safe?
We were specifically told not to go to the forest because it wasn't safe. We were told that the ocean hadn't been fully checked.
Correct.
Yeah. So we know that there might be danger at the forest, but we don't know if there's danger at the ocean because they haven't checked it yet. So at least they know where to recover us if something happens in the forest. In the ocean, someone could pull us into it.
Don't worry, I'll leave a note for them to let them know where we're going.
Are you
Sounds
trying
like
to
you
get
got
us in?
tattletale in your group.
Are you trying to get us in trouble?
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just so long as they know where we are, that's all. Nest is already writing the note.
Is anyone planning to follow Nest?
Nest is not leading them anywhere.
Okay, Nest
is just suggesting a more safe option than the forest. But Nest will follow wherever they go because Nest views it as their responsibility to keep them out of trouble.
Did anyone else have an opinion on where to go?
I think my vote's for the ocean.
Okay.
Mari also talked about her uncle losing some fingers to wolves, so she's kind of not particularly interested in either, but she'd prefer the woods. Shari would obviously prefer the ocean.
Are you waiting to see which way they go to pick which character?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Well then, I guess we'll have the five of you make leadership tests to figure out who gets to decide. Unless you want to treat it as a vote. These are kids, so consensus should come pretty quick.
I think the problem though is that we're tied right now, which means that's whoever Ed chooses would win.
Well, there's five of you. You can't be tied.
Yeah, Zara's voting whatever Baz votes.
All right.
This is a game of a logic game now. So now Baz needs to vote.
Forest. That's my vote.
So we've got one vote, and then I can't remember all the other votes. I think Tice, you voted Forest.
Yeah, I think that makes it the woods.
That's 3 for forest, 2 for ocean. Looks like it's forest time. So Ed, does that mean you're bringing Mari?
Yep, and Shari will play.
All right.
Adventure.
Adventure begins. The first test is sneaking out without Miss Maybell noticing. She is quite busy moving around the house. She's mostly outside picking up the like scraps of cloth, but eventually she's going to run out of cloth to pick up.
I have an idea. I'm gonna, wherever she has been taking the cloths, I'm going to collect a bunch of them, and I'm going to to an area where we are trying to stay, where we're like the opposite way of the forest, like near the ocean. I'm going to toss a bunch of more there, just so that she'd be spending more time over the way that she's not looking at us.
Okay. That's a clever solution. Make a stealth plus agility check to do it without her noticing. You need 1 success. Two successes. You lay your bait, and while she is distracted, you guys run up the road. The road runs between. So as you're heading east on the road, to the left, which is north, there's a large barley field. To the right, the stream flows along next to the road, and on the other side of the stream, there are cows fenced in. It's a really big field with quite a few cows. They're spread all over the place, a lot of open space, lots of grass for them to munch upon. The barley looks like it could be easily hidden in as well. It's a very opportune place for small creatures such as yourselves to disappear into. Just a quick rundown from my knowledge. So what species is everybody?
I believe Bax is a human child.
I'm a dwarf.
Human dwarf.
No.
Nest is also a human.
Half elf.
And Elros is an elf.
Okay. We have all sizes then. All right. So yeah, the gnome and dwarf children could just freaking vanish in this stuff. The humans, you just gotta crouch down and you're gone. Elves and half elves as well. Standing, you can kind of like see each other's heads if you go into the barley, but otherwise will disappear. Continuing up the road, you do eventually come to the place where the forest splits the fields to the left of the road. To the right of the road, there's still more pastures, where you see now, in addition to the cows, there appear to be some goats. The forest is not, like I said, huge. And you're standing basically at one end of it. It stretches like a border, separating the fields from two farms. Off in the distance, to the one side of it, you see a farmhouse. Off to the other, you see a different farmhouse and different crops. It looks like wheat. Yep. So here between the barley and wheat is a little stretch of forest. The sun is bright, the birds are chirping, it's a beautiful day.
Nest goes, ooh, we could go pick some mushrooms. Because Nest finds that very interesting.
Indeed you could.
Zara's interested in picking up some pine cones. If there are any.
Both of you make exploration checks. What aptitude do you want to apply to your exploration?
Probably perception for me.
Okay, that's a good one.
Feel like that's what I would call looking for edible mushrooms that I've read in a book once.
I'm gonna go with like vigor because Zara's just gonna be like rolling around. Like basically, I want the pine cones to role play as grenades from when I'm playing around as Randy Gearhands. So I'm just kind of like rough and tumble, like somersaulting around, like on the ground, looking for pine cones.
Right on. Vivian, you need 1 success to acquire your mushrooms. Kristen, you need 2 successes to acquire pine cones.
Well, I got my mushrooms.
All right,
Unfortunately, there
had
are
some
no
fun.
pine trees in this forest, Kristen. I'm sorry.
it's all good.
There are, however, several oaks.
I'm gonna collect some barley on the way over, just like a handful. Put it in a little pouch.
Okay.
But by the way, just so I said this, like Nast would have absolutely probably not left a note, but told Shari where they were going, just in case.
Yeah,
Did anyone sabotage Nessa's note?
Nest didn't leave a note. Nest just like pulled Shari aside because Shari's their roommate. To it like, hey, we're going to the forest. If we aren't back, let the adults
rescue,
know.
yeah.
Shari says, "No problem. I'm really good at keeping secrets. I won't tell anybody. I won't tell anybody about anything."
All right. Let's see. Vivian, while you are gathering up your mushrooms, you hear a low growl. Kristen, while you are crashing through the forest, you realize that you are no longer with the rest of your group. You don't see them.
All right. Well, that's pretty alarming. So I'm going to start calling out.
All right.
Hey, where'd you guys go?
Everyone clearly hears the calls. As you call, you hear some rustling in the underbrush near you.
I immediately run in the opposite direction of the rustling.
Okay.
Can I make a perception check to see if I hear her?
Yes.
I'm also just screaming like I'm not very courageous.
Nest is going to like stand up from mushroom picking, which is suddenly grabbed all their attention. And go, oh no, Zara, and then just book it after. Like whoever screams is probably doesn't even notice the growling.
All right. So you hear Zara screaming and running in roughly the opposite direction of all of you. You take off running in that direction. Is anybody else going after them as well?
I'm looking. I
Okay.
rolled a 1 for my perception check.
Oh, all right. So you're able to zero in on them. As you get near her, or at least near the direction, you also notice the rustling in the underbrush that startled her.
Should I roll to see if I can catch up?
Yes. Athletics check, please.
All right.
Do I need to make the same check?
If you want to keep running, if you want to investigate the rustling in the underbrush, you can do so.
I'm going to make my priority getting to my friend.
Nest smashes their face into a tree.
Is a vigor? Or...
Vigor's a good choice for that, yeah. I know I keep calling out skills that all of you have zeros in. This is just to give you sort of a sense of what kinds of things you might want to level up, but you don't have to, like, there'll be lots of options.
Are we trying to figure out where someone is? Like,
yeah, so Zara...
Not that hard, she's like screaming.
she's screaming. It's not difficult to figure out where she is. It's difficult to catch up to her. But you do. Somebody does. Who just rolled a 1 there?
I did.
Right on. So you ignore the rustling in the underbrush and you catch up. Which means that, Vivian, you have not caught up, which means you've arrived at where the rustling is. This is a busy patch of forest over here. So everybody's getting a turn.
I don't think I've arrived so much at where the rustling is, and more the rustling arrives at me because I smash into a tree.
Oh yeah, so you smash into the tree, you fall down, you turn your head, and you see a face. It is a face made of bark that is backing away, and it looks like it's trying to either hide or protect something behind it.
Ooh. Ness is going to go, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Hi, my name's Ness. I'm here to... Does this look like vaguely like
No, it's a wood troll.
Oh, it's a wood troll?
Yeah, its face looks like bark, Its body looks like it's made of
Alright.
wood, and it's backing away and like trying to either hide or cover something with its arms behind it.
Okay, Nessa's going to go, oh, I'm so sorry, and like back up into another tree or something. And just try like keep a soothing voice while crashing through everything.
Tice, what is Elros doing during all of this?
Elros is currently just like skimming through the forest, looking for like potentially anything that was left there intentionally or unintentionally. Since it's between two farms that maybe like they might have left there or accidentally dropped there.
Okay, do an investigation plus perception. One success, you find a hand axe. It is rusted and not at all sharp. It's probably been lying in the mud for a year or more. Looks like it was something that was being used to keep the forest trimmed down so it didn't invade too much into the fields. It is of quality 1. See, Troy, what are you doing? What's Chriislisar up to?
I was trying to keep track of everybody, but I kind of lost them because we had the snarling near us, or no, was it snarling or?
First there was the snarl near you, and then further away there was some more activity that caused some people to go running off into the woods screaming. The party is now well and truly separated.
Okay, so there's 3 off in another direction so far,
Yeah.
though, right?
I think the only one still near you is Mari. Although Tice's character may not be too far away. Yeah, Elros is not too far away. Didn't have to travel too far to find the hatchet, the little tiny baby axe.
I guess I'm gonna look around for any sort of large thing I can use to hit with.
There are sticks and
Broken
rocks.
branch. There's a large broken branch, or
Yep. You acquire a branch. In a forest, I'm not going to make you roll to find a branch. They're sort of endemic to forests. All right, and Ed, what is Mari up to?
So what do I see in my proximity? Like I'm not chasing after the elves and humans. Like that's just a losing battle. So so I'm just kind of hanging here. I could probably hear most of what's going on, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna hang out. I see Troy. What's your character's name?
Chriislisar.
Chriislisar. Oh yeah, you're my roommate actually. Yeah, so I see you pick up a stick, and I assume that stuff's about to go down. So I pick up a rock, and I sprinkle barley on it.
Okay, then we go back to Kristen. So you need to stop to catch your breath now, having done a good run. It does sound like some of your companions are catching up to you. Bax in particular is about to catch up to you.
Yeah, I see Bax and immediately run towards them and jump into their arms.
Bax,
I grab them. I grab her and kind of just like wrap one arm and stick the other arm out and just start spinning around looking for the crunchy sounds, the growly sounds.
Yeah, I'll start basically pointing in whatever direction they were and say there was something over there. Just like super frantic.
The two of you can hear. I'm trying to call it by character name. Nest. The two of you can hear Nest apologizing to something, and then crashing into another tree back the way you just came. Honestly, from Nest's reaction, it sounds like they encountered a person.
Are we close enough to Nest to ask?
You could go in that direction, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll start heading there. Just safety in numbers. I'll grab Bax's hand and try and drag them with me.
At this point, Nest is offering the wood troll mushroom.
The wood troll is actually not being aggressive then. The wood troll is just kind of keeping whatever's behind it safe and sort of looking at the mushroom, cocking its head.
I'm a friend. Here, I picked these. You can have one if you. So, well, I don't know what you all eat. I'm so sorry for disturbing you.
Well, it does not speak any particular language. It does make gestures of interest at the mushroom, but it's, yeah, whatever it's guarding, it seems to consider more important than the mushroom. Not that it's not tempted, just, it's worried that you're trying to lure it away so that you can grab at whatever's behind it.
Nest will toss a piece of break off a piece of mushroom, just toss it towards the wood troll, like underhand, very softly.
The wood troll catches it, turns around real quickly, adds it to some kind of a nest behind it, and then turns it back around.
Bet you there's babies there. We should probably leave it alone.
I'm not sure how much knowledge of troll anatomy any of you would possibly have, but that's the kind of behavior it's displaying. Alrighty, so the group that's armed up, the three of you are proceeding towards, I guess, the commotion. You do hear the growl as you proceed. It's not in the same place. It seems to have moved off towards the edge of the wheat field side of the expanse. The little foresty barricade between the two fields. Did you guys want to do anything about it, investigate it, or do you want to proceed to where the rest of the party is talking to the wood troll?
I'm not interested in going near a wood troll, so. But I'm brave, so I'm trying to be brave. So I'll follow. I will follow the person with the stick. I'm protecting my.
I'm good. Elros with his hand axe, rusty hand axe, is going to go to the growling sound because it seems to be in the dark area, which is a good place to go to.
It is. Elros, you encounter a wolf. It looks hungry. And let's see. Was it Troy? You were the one with the stick?
I do have a stick.
Are you going towards the growling sound, or are you going towards the other three who've come back and are over talking to a wood troll?
So we can see them just talking essentially to the bushes.
Right. The forest is not nearly dense enough to hide much of anything for loud children. Particularly loud children who might be wearing bright clothes. I don't know. I haven't actually checked up on that with you guys, but yeah. It's very clear to you where they are. It's not clear what they're talking to, and it's not clear yet that that Tice has found a wolf. But yeah, that's what's going on.
I think just with I guess like stick together and all that. There's one person somewhere and there's multiple people somewhere, so I should head toward the one person.
Okay. So you join Elros over by the wolf. The wolf sees that you and Mari following you have come to join and has decided that that is not numbers it wants to deal with. And so it vanishes into the underbrush in the general direction of the other three, where they're with the wood troll. So those of you who are with the wood troll, it sniffs the air and suddenly turns around, concerned about a threat from the other side of its nest. It seems less concerned with you guys now that you've offered it a mushroom. Inside the nest, you see a very strange sight. It looks like 3 amber eggs, like literally made of amber. You can see inside them. And inside each of them, there is a body part. It looks like they are parts cut off from this troll itself. There's a left hand, a right hand, a left foot, and a right foot. They're just preserved inside these amber eggs.
Does this troll have hands and feet?
It does, but they look newer. They look like they're made of a fresher wood than the rest of the troll.
Wow.
The bark is lighter in shade.
In reaction to the troll's reaction, I, being a gnome, unable to see really what's going on, try and grapple up whoever the tallest among us is to start trying to see in the direction that the troll's looking.
I don't know how old Max is, but Nest is made to be slightly older than everybody else, so Nest is probably tallest.
All right. I'm basically trying to climb you.
Nest is going to try like lift you up onto their shoulder. And go.
Fortunately, as a gnome, you're very lightweight.
Go.
All right.
What do you see? What do you see? To both the wood troll and you now?
All right. I'm kind of looking out in the distance. I'm not sure what I see. Am I able to see anything from here?
Yeah, so you can see the eggs, and you can see that your other 3 friends appear to have armed themselves with a stick, a rock, and somehow a hatchet, and they are closing in on the other side, looking very aggressive.
What's between us? Is it
Forest and underbrush, and a troll guarding a nest with 4 eggs in it.
Oh, so there's... Is the underbrush really tall?
No, not really.
Oh,
The underbrush
so
could...
I can't see anything else.
Go ahead and make a perception plus investigation check.
Okay.
No, you don't see anything else.
All right. I'll just say I'll report back that all I see is our other friends, and they look like they're playing some sort of adventure game with rocks and twigs.
Is anybody going to call out to them?
Elros is gonna come back here, wolf, and he's gonna climb into the underbrush with the hatchet to try to follow the wolf.
This is the first that anyone else has heard of a wolf, so that's That's a thing you all now know.
Ness goes, "Wolf, wolf," and then just darts after you now while still carrying Zara on their shoulder.
Okay.
Stay back. We need to approach this together. I feel like I need to make a roll for this too.
Yep.
I'm starting to look a little panicked. I'm like, why are we running towards the wolf? What's a wolf?
Hey, I have a success.
You do have a success. What is it you're doing now? Just rushing forward?
I'm rushing forward while holding Zara, while trying also to pull, get to, or actually, pull them back because I'm trying to regain control of the situation.
Okay. So you basically, with the gnome on your shoulder, leap over the wood troll and its nest, landing on the other side, somehow miraculously safely without dropping anybody. There is an incredibly startled wolf that just did not expect elves and gnomes to be raining out of the sky right now. Which backs up into Elros and your motley crew. You guys have weapons. Do you intend to use these weapons on the wolf?
Mari shrugs and says, "It's just an animal. If you throw rocks at an animal, sometimes it makes the animal mad, unless the rock's big enough. My grandfather threw a big enough rock at a bear once, and the bear didn't come attack him, but it was a really, really big rock. This is not big enough."
Troy, you've got the stick, and Tice, you've got the axe. You also get to make your decisions. Looks like Mari is backing off.
You said one field was a grain field. What was the other field?
Well, they're both grain. One of them is barley, the other is wheat.
Let's see here. 1 second.
And if you're thinking what I think you're thinking, you're quite right that the easiest way to leave this forest is to just go either east or west, where you immediately, like without delay, come out into a field. Now it's not. The field itself has lots of hiding spots, but navigation here is not super hard. The field basically is a hiding spot. Like anybody in the field is hidden.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of a way to to see if there was like any kind of nearby. Because I don't know what wolves eat. Do they normally just eat meat?
Yep. I don't know if your character would know much about wolves, but yeah.
Because you said it looked hungry, like it was been starving for something.
It did look hungry. Right now it looks confused as it just got flushed out of the building by a leaping elf gnome combo tower.
I think I'm going to I'm going to pull out a few of the apple slices that I non-tucked in my thing when we had lunch. I'm gonna try to offer some to him so that we can try to get him to go somewhere else where I can feed him better. Maybe keep it as try to get a pet.
Make a taming plus empathy check, difficulty 2.
It's gonna not be good.
Yeah, wolves do not eat apple. Okay, so the wolf sees your outstretched hand as an opportunity, and it's going to lunge at you to try and bite you. You have an injury of 2 tacks that you need to deal with. How are you going to deal with it?
I'm going to avoid it.
Do you have enough avoid to completely negate it?
Yeah, I have an avoid of 2.
Okay. So the wolf lunges at you, but you dodge to the side, and it skitters past you into the underbrush. Everybody else has 1 opportunity to try and do something to it before it just disappears into the forest. Or everyone can stand still. That is also an option.
I just throw a handful of barley up into the air and say some gibbledy.
Zara taps Nest on the shoulder and is like, "What's a wolf?"
I'll explain when we get home. And Zara's going, Tice, what's your character again?
Elros. The elf.
Yeah, but what race? Sorry.
Elf.
Try to judge size.
I'm elf.
Elf. Okay. So, Nest is not going to try and scoop you up, but Nest is going to try and drag you away. From the wolf.
All right. The wolf runs off into the forest. You know not where.
You guys are lucky I cast fear, I say.
The troll is now acting a lot more calmly around you, now that it's seen you protect its nest from a wolf. It goes back into the nest and starts cradling the amber eggs like a mother.
How big is this troll?
Slightly larger than an adult human, but completely hunched over on the ground. Does your character have any specific knowledge about trolls?
No, not really. I mean, like, I know what they are. I've never seen a wood troll before. I'll say that. It's like, is that a wood troll? Never seen a wood troll before. I've seen stone trolls, mountain trolls. Mountain trolls are nasty. My auntie lost an eye to a mountain troll once. Never got it back.
Something that the party will want to probably discuss before you head back home is whether or not you intend to tell any adults about the troll.
Nest thinks that this troll is a friend, so Nest is going to be like, "Yeah, we should tell them that there's a friendly troll. We could, maybe it could help us out."
But won't we get in trouble for leaving?
They'll understand. They'll understand.
We totally saw it while we were walking down the road, and we saw it in the near
We
the
don't
foot.
need to lie. They'll understand.
No.
Mari,
Nest is going to.
if you have some experience with rock trolls, you may have a different understanding of how adults will react to the presence of a troll in the woods.
My Nana once told me that the only good troll is a dead troll. But she said that about goblins too, but now apparently goblins are okay.
It's right here. I
She
can hear
shrugs.
you.
She looks at the troll and says, I'm not sure trolls talk, really. They do in the Troll Mountains, but those are different trolls. That's what I was told.
What I say is that we didn't we walked down the road. We didn't see anything. We saw a wolf jump around in the forest. That's all we saw. And of course, we had to go in the forest because we saw the wolves.
I can tell them that I detected it with my magic. Then they won't know that we left.
Why can't we just go and tell? Like, I have a new. Ness views a troll as a friend now. So Ness is very like, we could just say we have a friend now. The troll's friendly. It helped us out.
Mari says, that makes sense to me. My Nana would have burned this whole forest down, though.
Your Nana definitely would have. All right. So it sounds like there is only confusion, no true consensus, but you guys are a pack of children, so who knows what's going to happen.
We're definitely going to get in trouble.
Did we want?
You all might. Ness probably won't.
Did you want to do any more exploring before we head back, or?
For all intents and purposes, you have now seen the forest. You have some mushrooms.
Is there fresh water around anywhere?
There is. You'll have to leave the forest and go across the road. But on the other side of the road, there is a stream of fresh water.
That's like, do y'all want to learn how to pick mushrooms? I read about it in a book once. And without waiting for them to confirm or deny, just going to start like pointing out like different mushrooms and like, no, that one's bad. This one's good.
My brother ate some mushrooms once and started bleeding out of his ears, so I think I'm going to pass.
Well, that's because your brother ate that one. And Ness points to one. It might not be correct. Ness doesn't know.
Alrighty. Mushrooms in hand. You wanted to do something with the fresh water, was that right?
Yeah, I was just going to get like a makeshift cup out of leaves or whatever we got, and then get some fresh water and sprinkle some barley in it, and then say a toast to our adventures, and just drink the dirty barley water. And I'll pass.
You're not that far off from how beer is made in this kind of economy, but yes, there would be a lot more time spent fermenting it.
I don't know that.
You don't know that. All right.
I know that there's some magic involved with barley and water.
Did someone say toast? I'm pretty hungry. I could go through some toast.
There is bread back at the orphanage.
I was responding to Ed's toast.
I just pass. I pass you whatever makeshift cup I've made with dirty barley water in it.
Oh,
It's basically a folded leaf, but yeah.
I've never had toast like this before, and then I just eat the whole thing, including the leaf.
Mari goes, gnomes.
Kristen, you may need to take a tax just for being kind of indigestion from consuming something that is not your metabolism's. Well, actually, gnomes? No, it's plant matter. Yeah.
Those are okay. They're mostly vegetarian, or they eat minerals. But
Yeah, like if a human ate that leaf, they would have a stomach ache.
I can eat pretty much anything, and I'm fine.
What
You're
would I
a
tax?
dwarf, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you do because of your character's race, right? Like she doesn't need to tax anything, right?
I guess. Well, so gnomes are technically rocks.
Yeah,
Sort of.
They eat normal stuff most
They're
of the
like
time.
living crystal people, kind of. They look like flesh and blood, but it's
I thought they eat like beetles and mushrooms.
Yeah, there's a lot of beetles and mushrooms going
All right,
on.
I guess you'd be okay. Yeah, you'd be okay.
Nest, which mushrooms do you say were like sort of dangerous but not too dangerous? People are pointing out like all of, like you were trying to point out what you thought was like good mushrooms and which ones are like, oh yeah, this will give you like upset stomach and stuff.
Yeah. Nest basically just like tries to learn as much as Nest possibly can about everything. So this is like stuff that Nest probably read in a book one time at a prior orphanage. Like there's probably some forging book, and Nest is just trying to remember all of it, but is definitely putting on the appearance of being an expert on the subject, despite being a 14-year-old kid.
Yeah, I'm gonna collect a bunch of the slightly dangerous mushrooms that give you upset stomachs and stuff.
Should I roll
later.
Should I roll to see how accurate I am with all this?
Sure. Yeah, give me a cunning plus scholarship.
That or
You got
if
this.
Tice tries to do anything with those mushrooms, it's going to be random effects.
Hey!
My nana used to say, if it's ugly and smells, it's good for your health. If it's pretty and sweet, it's not good to eat.
You recall just from a sort of a logic standpoint that if you see that there are bite marks from other animals and yet no dead animals around the mushroom, then it's probably okay to eat.
All right. And so that's basically the Ness has a bunch of mushrooms that have tiny little bite marks on them, basically, and has pointed out the ones that were left alone as probably bad.
It's a fairly safe assumption. There are weird exceptions with critters that have evolved specific immunities, but for the most part, this pretty much works.
Yeah,
All
okay,
right.
I guess I'll collect some of the ones that don't have any bite marks on them, just in case. That might be able to figure out how to dilute them to make a weak stomach a bug.
So after playing in the forest for a while, it gets to be afternoon. The troll has taken her eggs and retreated, not really deeper into the forest, but just further along the forest. There is no such thing as deeper in a forest such as this. It looks like she's trying to find a place to be a little bit more fortified in case the wolf comes back. It might be a good time to get back if you want to get back with no one having noticed that you were gone. On the other hand, if the plan is to parade back and announce that you found a troll friend, then that is irrelevant. So, yeah.
Well, I know I'm going to be going sneaking back. If you don't want to, and you want to announce your presence, that'll definitely help me sneak better.
Yeah, I'll just start heading back, I guess, if everyone else is. I want to turn over a log and see if I can find any grubs on my way back.
Okay. Yeah, do a... this I would probably either exploration or survival, plus perception. Look for a good log, a grubbly log. There you go. You find some grubs.
All right, I turn over the log, just pick up a handful of grubs and say, "Ooh, mulberries," and I eat one.
All right.
Ness is going to like try like no, and then when you eat it, it's just like out of patience at this point. Whatever happens, happens.
I offer you some, noticing that you're intently looking at me. You want some mulberries?
Those are grubs. I don't think they're edible.
Anything's edible if you try hard enough.
Mari shrugs and says, "It used to be good. We used to collect them in the caves."
Bax is intensely curious and eats a grub.
It tastes like a grub.
Slimy yet satisfying.
Like a mulberry.
There are footsteps coming from the road, from the direction of the orphanage. It's easy to see because it's a pretty straight shot that the two Crimson Guard soldiers are awake now, having had a good rest, and are now walking down the road. As they pass by you kids, they do stop and they say, "Best be heading back. I'm sure the missus will want to count heads for the night." Did any of you want to ask them questions before they head on? While they are rested, they do still look a little shaken from whatever their experience was the previous evening.
I say, how far is the city? I heard we're near the city. I've never been to a city.
Says, well, it's more of a village. It's just down this road. Unless you're talking about Celebre, that's a few days from here. Actually, it might be even more than that, actually. We're about halfway between Celebre and Half Elven.
Oh yeah. So maybe a week or a couple days. Yeah. I'd like to go to the city one day. Never been to a city except Barren, but when I went there, it didn't really look. Barren's not really like a city. When I went there, it was more like a forge or something. I don't know. There was like lava in the streets and stuff.
It says, well, Celebre is a right proper city. Buildings and buildings all around with everything you could want.
I say, you want a mulberry?
Let me actually make a roll for this guy. Yeah, he says, oh yeah, good eating on those. They're called grubs, though. And he takes one.
Grubs. Okay.
It's protein, and these are soldiers. He just had to make his survival check on it.
Sorry, they're called grubs. That might be the line of the session.
He thanks you for the grubs and says, all right, yeah, you kids behave. You're mighty lucky having someone like Miss Maybell looking after you.
Instinctually, Ness says you two.
He smiles. He says, oh, I wouldn't dare disobey that woman. As he says that, you see his partner has like a little shiver and doesn't think it's at all funny. And but yeah, and then they proceed down the road. As you guys head back to the orphanage, you can see that it's getting on towards the afternoon, late afternoon. There's still some sun in the sky, but yeah, the kids are kind of done with playing and are gathering up in groups to just tell stories and things. And this would be an excellent time to brag about your exploits. So this is how giving out experience works at the end of an adventure, is each of you gets an opportunity to have your character brag about the cool stuff they did on the adventure. And if everyone agrees that it's an awesome thing that you are bragging about, then you get an experience point. Afterwards, you'll get chances to give experience points to each other as well. So, what order shall we go in? Who's going to brag first?
I would love to brag first.
Go for it. So you get all the other children gathered around, the ones that did not get to participate in the adventure, and you get to boast about your greatness. Go ahead.
Bax finds Bax goes from or are they in the orphanage again?
Outside of it, yeah. In the play area. Miss Maybell's somewhere inside preparing dinner.
Okay, cool. So since we're outside, I do like a somersault and then like flip up and go like, so we were hanging out in the forest and I was rustling around looking for cool stuff and suddenly I hear a scream. And then I go over there and oh my gosh, there's a troll and a wolf and I was just like, well, bam, we gotta get out of here. So I took, what's your character's name, Kristen?
Zara.
I took Zara by the hand and we just boogied out of there.
All right, what's everyone think? Is that story worth an experience point? Yeah.
How many experience points do we each have to give?
So
It's more of like there's a consensus, right? And then we get a point.
So after your boasts, you'll have 3 points to give around. But for right now, everyone's just boasting, and you're going to vote on whether or not their boast is worth 1 single experience point.
And then does it have to be a unanimous vote?
No.
I'm gonna assume that Zara is like totally smitten by me, quote unquote, rescuing her.
Zara is definitely voting for Bax.
She'd be like my hype woman. Yeah, like yeah, it was so cool.
Ness is also probably going to vote for Bax because Bax actually got over to Zara while Ness ran into a tree.
There you go. So that's good enough, Bax. You got an experience point. You impressed some kids.
The most important thing.
I guess just going in the order on Discord here. Ed, do you want to go next? Will Mari make a boast about the cool things she saw and did?
Yeah, so Mario will just say, yeah, we traveled into the dark forest. There was a wolf, like they said. Some people ran off, but not me. I just cast fear, and then it ran off. And there's a troll, too. I was going to just meteor it, but it seemed friendly enough, so we just left it there. And then we had some beer and some some grubs. And then we saw the Crimson guys on the way over. I was going to invisibility past them, but they seemed really nice, so we just had a conversation.
Mighty story indeed.
Do we have a couple of thumbs up for that story?
The grubs are pretty good. I'll give a vote.
All right.
It sounded pretty great.
Mari gets an experience point. Troy, you're up.
I'm trying to remember if it happened that way for a second. And then I'll say, you should have seen it. Everyone ran off. They were all over the place. There was growling, and no one cared about the growling except for motioning to what is it, Elros?
Yeah.
And then just went off on his own. No backup at all. But Mari and I, no problem, armed ourselves and scared off. But before he got hurt, scared off a wolf before he got hurt.
Anybody think that story was worth a cheer?
I will give a +1 for the hatchet. Like, that was so cool. Where did you even find that thing?
It was actually Elros that found the hatchet.
Then points for being brave, right?
It was
Had a
a twig.
stick.
You could assume it was like a hatchet. It was like,
Yeah.
if you use your imagination.
We
It
armed
was a
ourselves
broadsword,
with
for
a sword and a buckler.
Right on. So Chriislisar gets an experience point. Vivian.
Ness is going to go. So I took everybody out to the forest, and I showed them how to pick mushrooms and stuff, and we came across a wood troll, and we uh, we befriended it, and it was like a wood troll that has little babies, and it was very cute. And um, it was really nice. We made friends with it. There's a wolf or something as well, but I, it tried to bite Elros, and then it ran off. I think we just scared it. Something.
All right. Does anybody feel that boast, that retelling was worth an experience point?
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Those are the events.
1 thumbs up. We need 1 more.
Corroborated.
2 thumbs up. Get an experience point. Kristen, what was your perspective on the adventure?
So, right when we got into the forest, we started hearing these crazy noises, and I bravely ran directly towards the noises. And then I ran into Nest and jumped on their shoulder, and then we leaped and ran into a wolf, but then it ran away because it got scared of us.
Mari looks very proud of this story.
Ness is going to give you a thumbs up because you were you sort of stayed out of trouble, even though you kind of got into trouble. You got yourself out of it as well.
Right on. Take your experience point. And Tice.
So there I was, with my new trusty hand axe that I found as I brandished it around, going towards the sound of a snarl when I came face to face with the wolf. Luckily, my allies came to back me up, which caused the wolf to go try to run away. But I was not scared. I decided to climb into the underbrush, and when I tried to offer it parlay, it tried to attack me, but I nimbly dodged out of its way, and it decided to run away from the sight of my oppressive flexibility.
I give it +1.
Ditto.
That's 2 thumbs up. You've got an experience point. Okay, so now comes the part where all the characters get to participate. So for each of your characters, and we're just going to go through the list here, they can decide if, from the stories they just heard, who they thought did the best job or did the coolest thing. You may not vote for yourself. Sorry.
So this is the one where we get 3 votes.
Yes, so each of your characters gets 1 vote to give an experience point out to somebody else.
Oh, cool, yeah. So the other 2 characters that we're playing back at home can vote based off the story.
Right.
Got it.
And the character that was there gets to vote for one of the other characters based on their experience.
Is this like you mean it's like the quarter nickel thing, right? Like you can't vote for yourself, but you can vote for your other self. Just.
I'm gonna say from a meta perspective, let's just vote for other players. Don't use your characters' votes to have them all voting for each other in a circle. That would be, yeah. That would be less cool.
We have 3 votes.
So does the character who goes on adventure also get a vote?
Yes.
In this? Okay. So the last one we weren't actually voting as our characters, were we?
No. The last one we're just kind of giving thumbs up to each player's description. But now from the descriptions you guys have heard and from the experiences you've had, you're going to be giving each other experience instead of claiming experience for yourself. So let's start with Ed. Mari. Mari was there. Which of Mari's teammates would Mari like to give an experience point for and why?
One of the other adventure people?
Yep.
So I'll definitely give it to my roommate, Troy. Tori's character because that they were protecting me while I was casting my spells. A wizard needs a good swordsman.
All right. And Reggie, having heard those stories, which one did Reggie find most important, and from a meta perspective, other than Mari? Because we don't want you voting for yourself.
Right. Reggie liked Jackie's story because Reggie was just like, if you see a wolf, you run. You run from the wolf. What's wrong with you people?
Well said. And Shari?
Do I get an additional point from that?
Yes.
Shari. It's not clear Shari was paying attention. Shari liked Tice's story because it was flavory and had the most things that she didn't understand in it. So she's very interested in that, and we'll go and speak to him for the rest of the night to just get more details.
Leica's gonna +1 Vivian's character for being kind of the caretaker, for being somewhat responsible-ish.
Ness thinks of themselves as responsible, but Ness is also a 14-year-old.
Yeah. Leica is similar in that regard.
Okay, so that was. Hold on. I'm sorry, I'm losing track. So was that Bax or Leica that you just did?
Leica gave a +1 to Vivian's character, Ness.
Okay.
Right, Ness, right?
Yes.
Did Bax give out an experience point?
+1 somebody from the adventure since they were directly there, but is this a separate vote? So that character who was on the adventure can make a second vote?
For somebody else, yeah.
Okay.
So the first thing is you bragging about yourself, and you get an experience point for that from the players. And the second thing is your character giving props to one of the other characters.
In that case, I will give props to Kristen's character, Zara, for being brave and going ahead of the group.
Let's see, Kristen. There she is. Okay. Okay. And then there was Trumpy, also needed a vote.
Oh, Trompy gets to vote too?
Yep. All three of your characters get to put in a vote.
In that case, they vote for...
They heard
Ed's
the
character.
stories, they get to vote.
They vote for Ed's character because they think the idea of like having magic is cool.
Alrighty.
They fully believe in the mulberries and the theater spell and all that stuff.
Kristen, Zara was there for the adventure. Which of Zara's teammates did Zara find the most impressive?
Zara is gonna vote for Ness because they provided a shoulder to jump on.
Excellent. And then Francis heard the stories. Which story did Francis find most impressive?
Francis liked Elros' story the most. Was excited about the hatchet. Really, like is kind of like keeping their eye on it as well. They're kind of wanting to play with it potentially if he ever drops it.
And then Henry.
Henri. He votes for Mari because of the barley drink. He's a man of culture, likes a good drink.
Got the whole Ashta thing. Is that right? Oh no, that was a different character. All right.
Yeah, that might be a different character. But it's the character that whose parents died of wasting, so he's kind of like...
Ah, gotcha. appreciates the food then. Yeah.
Yeah, always hungry.
Tice, Elros. Which of Elros's teammates was Elros most impressed with during that adventure?
I think cheeriness of Echelon's character with all the magic.
And then, having heard the stories, which story was Glup most impressed by?
Who was the one who did the leaping onto his shoulders? No. I'll do it for Nest because Nest did the jumping.
Nest was the shoulders, and Zara was the one that did the jumping onto the shoulders. I guess Nest did the jumping while Zara was on Nest's shoulders. Yeah.
Yeah. So that sounded fun. Jumping.
All right. So you're giving it to Nest. Excellent. It's a very, very Anu thing to support jumping. And then Kylil.
I'll give it to remember now. I'll give it to Kite for showing a lot of camaraderie. Or how do you say that word? Yes. Camaraderie.
Thanks.
All right. Troy. Chriislisar. Which of Chriislisar's companions was they most impressed by?
Gonna say Mari because Mari was his backup, but they didn't realize how much work Mari was actually doing with all the magic and everything.
Right on. And then for Kofrik and Mina, which stories were each of them most impressed
by? Mina is impressed by Nest for handling a troll. Kofrik. Who did the most? Is impressed by, I think, Bax for you mentioned like chasing after the friend, right? Like that was in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be it.
All right. And let's see, are we at Vivian? Yes. Who was Nest most impressed with as a teammate?
I think Nest would vote for Bax here because Bax is really helped regain control of his situation when it was out of control, and Nest appreciates the direct action that was taken. Wallopy probably would be most impressed by Elros because Elros was the one who came closest to fighting the wolf, and if Wallopy was there, Wallopy would be punching the wolf in the nose and beating it up. They wouldn't, but that's what Wallopy thinks. So Elros was probably most impressed with Wallopy. And for Araxi, Araxi was probably most impressed by Trust's character. I'm sorry, I forgot their name.
Chriislisar?
Chriislisar, yeah.
Chriislisar.
Chriislisar. Is that what it is? Chriislisar. Okay.
Troy's character, right?
Yes. For mostly try to like actually be a member of the community and views, even though you might not have had the like actual like scared the wolf off, um you had it handled if the wolf was not scared off in Araxi's mind.
Alrighty, and I believe that is everyone. So just to give a quick summary here. So Mari got 5 experience, Bax got 4 experience, Zara got 2 experience, Elros got 4 experience, Chriislisar got 4 experience, and Nest got 5 experience points.
Did you count the story experience? Like the first?
Yes.
Sorry, can you repeat again how many experience did Nest get?
Nest got 5 experience.
And Mary got 4, is that right?
Mari also got 5.
Oh, I missed one.
I made a spreadsheet to keep track. 18 characters. This is awesome. Not regretting this at all. Alright, so experience points are not spent willy-nilly. You actually have to have your character go do chores in order to earn experience or spend your experience points. And what you can spend them on will be based on where you do chores. We'll get into that in a bit. For now, it's time for dinner and bed. So having completed your brags, all the children are brought inside. You have a bit of a meal. It's not anything fancy. It's mostly cheese and bread. There's some more apple slices. Specifically, there's an extra plate of apple slices, Tice, for your character that needs them in order to sleep properly. And Miss Maybell says, would anyone like to hear stories before bed? And she directs everyone's attention to her little library. In a corner of the first floor, there are bookshelves full of stories. These are not necessarily educational books, unless what you want to learn about are characters of history, myth, and sometimes actual adventurous stuff, because it's a fantasy setting, and really wild stuff happens to real people. All your favorite heroes are in here. So you can read about the exploits of Malel, of Gaston, of Delterra, of Harving. They're all here to read and enjoy. And Miss Maybell offers to read to those who don't yet know, but is keen on teaching their letters to those who don't know how to read yet. After a bit of storytelling, the sun has well and truly set, and Miss Maybell directs everyone upstairs to bed. There are a few last-minute trips out to the outhouse to make sure everybody's nice and settled. And she then shows you guys the closets. On each floor, there's a pair of closets, and there's actually a drawstring between the closets. And the closets have some emergency supplies for midnight issues. She has spent the day hauling water up. Each of the closets has a water basin that can be used if in the middle of the night you need a drink or you need to wash your hands. There's a pan you can pour the water into. And there are also buckets if you need to use the restroom and don't want to wake up Miss Maybell to go all the way outside. You will note that each closet has the 2 doors, but there's actually a curtain that splits the closet in half so that you can split it into 2 rooms if 2 people need to use it at a time. They also function as actual closets. There are changes of clothing in here for different types of weather and stuff. You see some wet weather gear, as well as like warmer clothes for the winter and things. As to like your personal clothes, you guys do have dressers inside the rooms. They're all empty at the moment, but that's something that will be dealt with later as she takes you shopping in town tomorrow. But for now, Everybody's been introduced to the amenities available at the house and are being put to bed. Another interesting thing about the design of this particular orphanage is that all of the children's rooms have locks that only operate from inside the room, meaning you can lock yourself in to secure yourself safely. I'm sure many of you have orphaned at institutions in which the adults would lock you in from the outside. This is not one of those. Miss Maybell apparently designed this place to afford you some privacy if you desire it. And with that, she proceeds downstairs, and the little cubs come crawling out of their room and downstairs with her and start crying. Apparently Bibbin, from what you can hear, really misses his mom. Bibbin being the smallest of the cubs. Do any of your characters have any knowledge about gnolls or their family dynamics? Probably just the older children, I would expect.
I guess Nest could, in theory, have learned something.
So,
Micah's favorite hero is Harving, so I assume that they know about the Gnoll War stuff.
They'd probably know a fair amount about gnoll integration in the north then, if they were following Harving's adventures.
Yeah.
So, gnolls are born in litters. They don't consider themselves twins, but they're generally born in litters of 4. And so, based on the ages of these, unless they happened to be born as a litter of 2, which is extremely unlikely, probably whatever killed their parents also killed some brothers and sisters for these gnolls. You have the brother and sister from the same litter, the older 2, and then the younger one is the only one left from its litter.
Wow.
They're downstairs sort of crying with Miss Maybell. She takes them out on the front porch. Did anyone want to open a window and listen in?
Sure, Leica will listen in.
You hear her singing a song to them. I'm going to do my best to approximate what it sounds like. Oh, the owl spirit's bright as the moon, and she knows how to carry a tune. So she'll carry it high to the moon in the sky. There'll be stars in her tapestry soon. If a cub sings a song, and their man sings along, then no matter how far or how lonesome they are, the sky it will always have room, and their songs will meet over the moon. As she sings, each of the times she rhymes with moon, the cubs howl a little with their own little ooh sound to try to match it and sing along. She continues, oh, the sky's woven on the owl's loom, and each star is made from a tune. So no matter how far or how lonesome you are, my heart will always have room, and our songs will meet over the moon. By the time she's done, the cubs are asleep in her arms, and she comes back inside. I will be adding the song's lyrics to the document about the orphanage and the town in general, in case you want to see it. And with that, she puts the cubs to bed. The next morning, when everyone is awake, she says, there is no breakfast. We ate all the food last night, so we're going into town to have breakfast at the inn. There will not be any mischief today. We're going to tag this day on to the end of the session. But she packs you guys into a cart, and in the early morning light, you guys are pulled by a team of horses, actually. It takes 2 to carry all of you. It's a big cart. This is not like the cart you guys came in. It's more like a hay cart. It's open, but there's a bunch of seats. That's very big. You imagine it probably was something used to move cargo around. Like huge piles of grain or something. And she carts you guys off to down the road and into town, where you stop at an inn that is, even though it's early morning, is already bustling. You recognize the innkeeper, for she is the one that insists on everybody calling her Grammy. And Grammy is excited to see children. Even though there's a whole bunch of them running around the place already. Did anyone want to do any exploration or asking questions of Grammy?
Sure.
Oh, and what do you need, little dear? Grammy already has food in her hands for you to eat. Just the mere fact of approaching her causes that to happen.
I was wondering, what do you know about the orphanage? You've not been there that long.
No, set up brand new, just for you wonderful little dears. Was going to be a school, but then those poor little pups lost their family and their parents going off to war. So this was the only place they trusted. And I say, Miss Maybell is a trustworthy person. They chose good.
I see. Do you have any stories about Miss Maybell before she opened the orphanage? I'd like to know more about her.
Oh, do I? Miss Maybell gives her a look. She says, perhaps another time. You get the impression, though, that Grammy has stories about everyone. While she is tending to you youngsters and getting out food, the sheriff comes in. He's he's kind of a young middle-aged man, but he also was present when you guys arrived at the orphanage, and he is accompanied by the old man that drove the cart that took you guys there. Given the exchange that happens between Grammy and Old Man Pinkle, you think that there's probably some kind of history between those two. Whereas she treats the mayor more like she might treat a child of hers. Although he doesn't seem to be, but she kind of acts like that with everybody. So, yeah, they sit down and they start talking, and Miss Maybell says, you know, there's a lot of things that we need, supplies we need to ship over. Would it be all right if you guys looked after the children for a bit? And of course, Grammy is happy to. And so she comes over to your table with more food, this time some dessert items mixed in among actual healthy things, and says, you know, if any of the youngsters want to earn some pocket money, they're always welcome to come visit. I've got plenty of chores I can put them to work with. Miss Maybell thanks her for the offer, and Pinkle, not to be outdone, says, oh, I've got work for him. Earn a few coppers if you do some errands for me. And soon, several people in the town have made offers. And so we have a sheet that has all of them. The only person that is of a significant profession that refuses the offer is the carpenter. Larity says, quite plainly, he says, when the government was setting up the orphanage, they could have come to me to buy furniture. And what did all you do? You all did donations. I saw what you donated. I made that fine work for you. Ungrateful. And where's the work for me? I'm sure Grammy here is getting plenty of chits for feeding them. And he storms off in a huff.
Reggie says, "See, the government steals the labor of the masses."
That might be the child that could actually crack this guy and get him to do stuff for you guys.
One libertarian child coming right up.
Yep.
Fuck.
Miss Maybell comments how she's really sorry that there's friction right now with Larity because he's probably the only one with the skills to make proper toys for the kids. But the government won't give her a toy budget. Grammy says something like, "Oh, we'll see what we can do, won't we, Pinkle?" And Pinkle looks at her and says, "Oh, we'll see what we can do." He's like very uncomfortable with the notion of giving out free things.
If you want to be totally cynical about it, giving a bunch of orphans in your town toys is not something that you do for free. You do it for better social cohesion, and to integrate the children into your community, so it's actually worth something. But
Grammy seems to
Reggie
have
looks
some
at the rest
hold
of
over
it.
Pinkle, but yeah, the carpenter is quite upset.
Reggie looks at the other kids because he's one of the older kids, and he says, "You guys are young, so you don't really understand. But if you want toys, you're gonna have to work for it. You got to earn what you get."
Micah nods solemnly, not really liking the concept, but understanding it's realistic.
So far, all of the people on this list are in the inn. Some of them are there to eat, and others are there because they heard that the orphans have come, and they're just dropping by to give their best wishes to Miss Maybell. There is one exception, which is the fisherman, and obviously the carpenter who stormed off in a huff. But the fisherman isn't here yet, but will be coming in the afternoon. He's off fishing. So, did any of the kids want to strike up conversations with any of the other, any of these characters that are here? Just to give you a quick verbal list, we've got Grammy of the inn, Pinkle of the general store, the Merkles. It's a husband and wife that run a dairy farm. They can always use help wrangling the cattle. That farm is actually, by the way, right next door to you guys. That's the cows that you saw on your way up to the forest. There is a smith. Her name, Omri. Omri is a smith. She's does most of the metal work in the town. Fisherman will be back later. There is a well-to-do looking gentleman who's introduced as the miller. His name is Bergston. Sheriff Gorham does also offer odd jobs. The sheriff says, and you kids want to make some extra coin, I always need runners to carry messages between me and my deputies, as well as just, general mail around the town. It's good exercise. It should get some hair on your chest. And then there's
It's
a
the most
quiet woman.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. There's a quiet woman in the corner that is the local healer and herbalist. A few people, when they're out of earshot, refer to her as the witch. But they don't seem to be doing it as an insult. It seems to be a sort of title of reverence. They're trying to be casual around her, but when she's not present, they're like super respectful of her. All right, you were going to say?
I was going to ask who's got the chores that are most, I guess, vigor and agility focused, I guess.
The fisherman. So after you guys have been hanging out and conversing for a while, the fisherman does come in with his two children and his first mate. And his first mate might not be super recognizable at first. It's an old frog, but it is an Anu of some repute to at least one of the characters here.
It's Lorpin, right?
It is.
Yeah, Araxi's definitely very interested in the fisherman. It's possibly the most interest you've ever seen Araxi express in this short time. But also, Araxi very much does not know how to initiate a conversation, so kind of just shadows them around until they notice her.
Well, hello there, little pollywog. Look at
Hello.
you. Just barely got your tail off, eh?
It's been off for a while. It hasn't.
Been in the waters yet?
No, they aren't allowing us to go to the ocean yet.
Ah, change
Say
that.
it's not
Change
safe.
that soon. These are fine waters.
Can we go?
Perhaps tomorrow. Come see me. We'll talk to the
Araxi-
captain. Perhaps you can come out with us on a fishing voyage.
Araxi absolutely is going to do that. Yes, yes. I'm Araxi. I don't. Do Anu have hands? Can they shake hands?
Yeah.
Okay.
Their hands can be potentially sticky and or poisonous, but they have them. So his hands, I mean, all of his skin, this is an old frog. His skin is gray and in many places nearly flaking off. But when you grip the hand, it doesn't feel fragile. It feels like old leather. It feels like weather and swimming and salt water has just beaten this frog into like his own personal suit of hardened leather armor. It's a little bit impressive to you as a young frog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Araxi
Lorpin,
like just keeps shaking hands and like doesn't let go. Like doesn't quite. Araxi's not used to socializing.
all right, well, Lorpin pulls up an Anu-style stool for you to sit on, and Grammy brings over food.
If he looks around, he'll see Sherry's got like enormously big eyes and is being the quietest she's ever been over by the fisher people.
Yeah, and like as the food comes, Glup will like grab a piece of food with his tongue and then come hang out with two.
Careful your tongue doesn't go to others' plates, young one. It's unfrogly.
That's only if they don't catch you.
All right, and Lorpin introduces you to the captain, and the captain's they're not children like you guys are children. They're like young adults, like 17 and 19, basically. On the seas, they're basically adults, but yeah.
Sherry says, "Do you have a boat?"
Is she asking the captain?
Yeah.
Yes. Captain Lowendow says, "Aye. A boat that's seen me weather through many a storm."
You've seen storms in a boat? Can I see them? I want to see a storm in
You
a boat.
best wish you don't. Storms can be hazardous things. The storms aren't nice. They don't play. The storms come at you with teeth.
Sherry says she's got huge wide eyes and says, I'd go under. Storms don't mess with you under the water, you know?
Wait, what species is this? Isn't another Anu, is it?
She's a Lunarian elf. She's got gills.
Oh, okay.
She's wearing a scarf because she gets made fun of by other people. But she's a half elf.
All right, so not seeing through the scarf, then this is.
I mean, she blushes blue, so he might.
He might. Okay. This is my first mate can also go under. Is a good skill. I haven't decided what this guy's accent is yet. I'm just trying out other things. All right. So with that, we're going to do one more tally, which is, this is not experience, this is your tax. So for those characters that played, they recovered 2 tax. All characters then recovered 2 tax for the good night's sleep that you guys got. And then you're all recovering an additional 2 tax for today's day, eating good food at the inn. And then when we come back next week, we'll pick up with the next day, where you guys can go out and either do some chores for some of these people around town, but 6 of your characters will go off on another adventure, perhaps to the ocean.
So everybody recovered 4, and the character we played recovered 6. Is that
correct? Okay. Yeah, the ones who didn't adventure recovered 6, so they should be fully healed up from the tax of traveling to the orphanage. The ones that did go on the adventure, they, I know at least one of you was taxed somewhat, but yeah, they've recovered 4 from whatever position they were at.
Was everyone at the same position? Well, I guess unless you were taxed additionally.
Yeah, somebody had a wolf dive at them and had to tax avoid. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah, Elros had to.
yeah. So Elros is a little more taxed than everybody else, but regardless, all of you who were on the adventure recovered 4 tax, and everybody else recovered 6, which should put them up to full health.
You can convert the avoid tax into stamina if you want.
What's that?
You can leave the tax and avoid or convert it to stamina, right? At this point.
Right. Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, I converted to stamina, and then I took off a 4.
Very good. Did anyone else have any last minute things they wanted to do before we close out this day? This will be the end of this session.
How does the chore mechanic work? Like, when do we do chores?
So at the start of each day, you'll pick which of your character will go do mischief for the day, and then your other characters can either play to heal up tax if they need to, or they can do chores. And doing chores lets you spend experience points, and depending on where you go, you can earn pocket money. Pocket money is like currency with no value. I mean that in a game rules sense. Most currency has the property of valuable so that you can use it to get extra dice. Pocket money does not have that property, so you can only use it for pips when making purchases.
You said something about experience if you're doing chores. You gain experience?
You do not gain experience, you may spend experience. And so on this list here, we have what each location is permitted to train you in when you spend experience. So as an example, if you were to go and work for the Oakshire Inn for a day doing chores for Grammy, then you could spend experience leveling up your artistry, performance, persuasion, propriety, survival, or your unarmed combat. As Grammy does have a little fight club out in the backyard that she makes wagers on. You could also purchase the talents Beautify, Binge, Hearty Laugh, I Know What I'm Doing, Private Show, Read Between the Lines, and Rumor Mill. These are all talents that Grammy has that she can teach you if you're working for her. And you'll earn 1 pocket money for doing that, whether you spend experience there or not. The pocket money is something you're guaranteed.
Cool, that makes sense. So is there any other instance where you can spend experience? So like we earned some experience today. Do we have to wait until we do chores to earn
Yes.
or spend it?
Yes, which means that the character that's you want to spend the experience on cannot be adventuring that day. They have to take a day to go do chores and level up, while one of your other characters goes on an adventure.
Perfect. Okay, that makes sense. And then the pocket money is basically just for pips with rolls?
Right. When purchasing things, it gives you pips on your trade rolls. And your it could be a trade roll, it could be a resources check. 6 pips equals a success, so potentially you could just stack up enough pips that you don't need to make rolls if you get enough pocket money.
Ah, okay. So it's pips specifically for like purchasing things.
Right.
Cool.
There's a general rule when bartering that you can trade items for pips to increase your what you're bartering for. So if you're trying to get like a cool sword, and you just don't have enough successes, you can just start rummaging through the stuff you've got and putting it on the table to try and get some more stuff. Pocket money is just an item where that is its only purpose. It serves no other purpose other than as pips to complete a transaction. There is now there's valuable currency. That would be like gold coins and stuff. That counts as dice when you're making purchases. And then there's precious things, which just count as straight successes. No one in this town either has or uses precious things, and there's very little in the way of valuable currency. But pocket money is something that they're happy to trade with.
So there is one small thing before I forget. The smithies, everyone's there, right?
Yes. Everyone's here now except for the carpenter. He stormed off.
Okay. Because I know Elros wants to like make a deal of like working for the smithy to be able to fix the hand axe that he recovered.
All right. She takes a look at the hand axe. Says, "Not thinking a kid like you should necessarily have this. Leastways, you should know how to use it safely before you have it. But yeah, I have the tools to fix it up." She kind of looks around, like, stop by my shop, do some work for me, and we'll see what we can do for you. Just remember, when you come by to work.
Yes, of course.
She looks specifically at Pinkle. She's like, I don't play games with my employees. Pinkle just says, it's not a game if it gets the job done. All right, is there any further business? Are we good to go?
I'm good.
All right. I like this. We seem to be doing like 2.5 hour sessions. That's, I think, a good amount. All right, then I'm going to stop the recording and we will pick up next week.